Welcome to my vlog. I'm sorry I've been away for so long. I'm so happy to be back. Today I'm doing one of your guys' all-time favorites and always requested videos, a what I eat in a day. So I haven't done one of these in a while, like a really long time. So I'm excited to do it for you today and just go through what I eat on an average day throughout the week. Obviously it changes depending on the week, the day, where I'm at, but Wednesday. This is just like an average what I eat in a day. Good morning. A little golden milk latte. Good morning, guys. Happy Monday. I am just sipping on my golden milk latte, which you just saw me make. So I'm starting my morning. I don't always start with this, but usually on the weekends, and if I have time, I'll start with some sort of warm beverage, whether it's tea, this is a golden milk latte, decaf coffee. I actually stopped drinking caffeine. I felt like in quarantine, I got into the routine of having like a coffee every morning, which I normally never do. I never really relied on caffeine, and so I decided to cut it out because if I didn't have it, I didn't want to get out of bed. I felt super sluggish. I would get migraines. I'd have like withdrawals from caffeine basically. So I decided to just cut it out because I never needed it before. It took me a couple weeks. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw my stories, kind of the whole process every day, how I was feeling. So now I'm like a month or two in, I don't crave it at all. I just crave like a warm something. So this golden milk latte is amazing because it's got like turmeric, cinnamon, I don't know, all of these other powders. I have to read you the bottle, but it's delicious. Usually I either prep for the week on a Sunday or a Monday. It just happens to be Monday. I wasn't here this past weekend, so Monday morning, get up, I'm gonna prep breakfast and lunch kind of for the week. Today, I'm actually gonna just make enough lunch for today, but usually I'll make a huge salad or something that I can bring to work with me throughout the whole week so I don't have to worry about it every single morning. Same with my breakfast. As you know, if you follow me, I usually do a smoothie on the go with berries, but today I'm actually been doing this a lot lately, is making my own granola, which store-bought granolas can be kind of unhealthy sometimes, like high in sugar, high in carbs. That's why I like to make it myself. I know exactly what I'm putting in it and it's all super good ingredients. And yeah, so let's get started. So I've soaked some dates overnight, pitted dates in water. Now this is gonna be my main sweetener for this dish. You can put whatever you want in your granola, any kind of nut, any kind of like cranberry, raisins, pumpkin seeds, goji berries. I'm putting it all in because I like it all. But these just didn't come chopped up. So I'm gonna just put them in the food processor a little bit just to chop it up so I don't have to. These are raw almonds, raw cashews. I've got pecans, cranberries, cacao nibs, oats. Those are all basically chopped, so I'm only gonna do it for this. I'm gonna start off by roughly chopping this. Perfect. So it honestly got a little bit more fine than I wanted, but the crunch will still be there. So just add all of that into a big bowl. Set that to the side. Sorry this isn't see-through, but I didn't have a big enough spoon. I'm gonna add in all of these pitted dates with the water that it's been soaking in. I'm also out of coconut oil, which I usually put in here as well. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt just to balance all that sweet. The dates really add a lot of sweetening. You can add extra maple syrup, agave, honey, coconut sugar. I'm just adding a little agave for extra sweetness, some cinnamon. I love cinnamon in my granolas. Obviously, this is something that you can skip if you're not like a fan of something that I'm putting in. And then almond butter, peanut butter, cashew butter. Okay. The consistency overall should be pretty liquidy. It's a little thick, honestly. I would debate adding in more water, but I'm in a rush, it's Monday morning. So we're gonna just go with that. Now it's the step that you add in whatever else you like. Obviously oats for me are a staple in my granola. I'm just eyeballing this. I would say, depends on how much you wanna make, but you could do about a half a cup of each thing, a quarter cup, a little less cacao nibs. Cranberries, people say to stir them at the end, but I don't mind them getting toasty. So I'm gonna add in the cranberries, chopped pecans, goji berries I also love. These could be stirred in at the end, but yeah. Pumpkin seeds. So I just eyeball it and then I stir it in and see, if I need something else. A lot of chia seeds. Chia seeds are so good for you. Stir it up and see how the ratio looks between like all the things I put in. Like, is there enough oats? Is there enough whatever? All right. So, I'm sorry I don't have a clear bowl, but you can kind of see just a kind of mixed up combo. And now I'm gonna pour in my wet ingredients. I've never measured this out and it's always turned out okay. You just want enough. I basically did one of those little pitted date bags for this whole bowl with the water, and it always is enough to cover it, but measurement wise, I would say it's like a cup of wet ingredients, a cup and a half of wet ingredients over this big bowl. I probably shouldn't have poured it all in first because it is actually a little too wet, but I can always add in more dry if I'm thinking it's too wet. You want it to be wet, but you also want it to be able to crumble and crunch all together. I'm gonna be making granola, but then I'm gonna also be making granola bars because I think I'm gonna have a little extra. Now you're gonna wanna preheat your ovens to 300 degrees Fahrenheit, which I already did. But if you didn't do it now. Okay, so it's kind of just sticky, but not like liquidy. A tray, and I'm gonna put parchment paper on it because this stuff can be very sticky. So I'm gonna put as much of this mixture as I can. This will be for just the plain granola, where I'll stir it while it's cooking so it doesn't stick all together in like one bar. So just kind of spread it evenly. And then I'm gonna get another one, little guy here, and this is gonna be my granola bar, which this is great for on the go mornings. This granola I like to put in my yogurt in the morning over a smoothie bowl. But the granola bars, if I'm like headed out the door and I have no time, I love these because I just kind of pick one up and eat them on my way to work. I'm gonna put the rest in here and then I'm gonna flatten it. Can you see? Flatten it basically into like a bar shape that you can cut. And you wanna bring the edges in because you don't want the edges they'll kind of burn faster than the rest of it. So this is my granola bar situation. This is my granola. And I'm gonna put this in the 300-degree oven. The granola I will be kind of twisting around so that it bakes evenly. This one I'm basically not gonna touch. So I'm gonna set the timer for 30 minutes. Then I'm gonna put the second oven to 375 because we're gonna start prepping lunch. For lunch, as I said, I like to do a big salad. Now this is like a kitchen sink salad, so kind of whatever I have or whatever I'm feeling. I'm gonna do a chicken, sweet potato, like a warm grain bowl with arugula, and then a cilantro lime. Easy, super easy dressing. You can always just go to the OG olive oil and lemon, or you can just not dress it. That way every day you can dress it. Since I'm just making one portion today, I'm gonna dress it. Yeah, so let's get started. Okay, so I've just got some sweet potatoes that I've chopped up here. Give them a rough chop. I'm gonna also cook the zucchinis. I like everything to be bite-sized pieces in my salads. We're gonna pop the chicken on there. These are great because they're already in like little chicken fingers. I'm gonna do 2 for lunch and then save the rest for later. Just gonna pat those dry. Sprinkle the veggies with some olive oil, same with the chicken, salt and pepper. Salt, pepper. And then what I'm gonna do for the chicken, put that on the baking sheet. Now I'm gonna put this in a 375-degree oven until the chicken and the veggies are cooked through. Okay. It's gonna be about 20-ish minutes on that chicken. It's thin, so it's not gonna take too long. Now I'm gonna just prep everything else. I've got some tomatoes, onions, almonds, avo, nutritional yeast, which is so good for you, lime. I'm gonna do arugula. So I'm super lazy today. As I said, it's Monday morning. If this was Sunday, I would either cook like quinoa, farro, brown rice for my warm grain bowls. I'm using this packet that I found at Whole Foods. It's a brown rice and quinoa packet. And you just cook it for 90 seconds in the microwave and it's like comes out cooked. Not sure the nutritional value. I definitely would say to cook your own, but I'm in a rush. 90 seconds, and then while that's cooking, I'm gonna just chop up some red onion and tomato. I always get a little carried away when I make salad for one because I'm so used to making it for like the whole week. So I always end up making like a huge salad for today. The rice, brown rice and quinoa is already done. So I'll just take that out and let it sit on the side here and let it cool down a little bit. Okay, perfect. Now we can throw the almonds. I love some almonds in my salad. These are roasted and salted. They add such a great crunch when they're roasted. Put in the arugula. A little bit of feta. This is like whatever I have in my sink, and whatever I have in my fridge, I'm just putting in this salad basically. I love avocado. Could make this veggie, you could make this, put salmon in there, you could do so many different things. So this is great, like while my granola cooks, while my chicken cooks, I literally just make all of this. Got my limes, my cilantro, and lime juice. Gonna throw a garlic or two, cloves in there. I also make this dressing like ahead of the week and I just will put it on whatever salads I'm having for lunch or dinner. If you wanted to put a little spice, you could do some jalapeno. So now I'm gonna put this in the food processor. Perfect. It's gonna be so creamy. I might have to put a little bit of water in it as well to just kind of thin it out. That avocado made it like more like guacamole. A little bit of water. Before I do that, I'm gonna stir the granola up because I feel like I smell it getting toasty. It's been there for like 10 minutes, so I'm gonna just give it a little stir. Let's see. Check the consistency again. Still very thick. Still gonna add more water. Yay, it's nice and thin. So I'm gonna just put this off to the side. I might actually have enough for 2 days, so I'm gonna get 2 bins. chicken is done cooking. The internal temperature reached around 170, so it's definitely finished cooking. I just let it cool. I'm gonna add the veggies. The granola, I have been basically stirring and moving around like every 5 to 10 minutes. I just wanna get it super crunchy. It's not gonna be necessarily super crunchy. I made this mistake once right out of the oven. So I baked it, and then it actually ended up getting a little burn. It gets crunchy after you take it out and it sits for about 15 minutes. So if it's not getting like crispy in the oven, don't freak out. Just make sure that all the moisture. Just diced up my chicken. Just pour a little in there. That's a lot. You can toss in the quinoa and the brown rice in this as well, but I find it easier just to lay flat at the bottom, and the dressing will kind of like seep down. Got my two to-go bowls. Ended up making enough for either Johnny or for tomorrow. So, even when I try to cook for one day, I end up baking too much. Typical Zach. The final topper to my salad is nutritional yeast. There's so many benefits to this. I'm not a, wow, that was a lot. I'm not a nutritionist. Winston, he has to go to the bathroom. I'm not a nutritionist, so I don't want to like get into like why it's good for you, but look it up. It's very good for you. And yeah, my granola should be done. I'm gonna just pop this in the fridge until I'm ready to go to work. Okay, my granola just came out of the oven. It's hot, but it smells amazing. I'm so excited. I don't even want to let it cool. Although once it cools, it will get crunchier. For my breakfast today, I'm gonna have a super small bowl because it's already quite late. I had my golden milk latte and I'm not that hungry, and I'm gonna have lunch in a few hours. So I'm gonna just have like one scoop of this almond milk based yogurt by Kite Hill. I'm not vegan, but I recently have been doing like Kite Hill almond or vegan cream cheese and stuff, and it's actually super good. So I pour a little bit of granola on top. I like to top it with fresh honey. And this is my breakfast. Depending on how hungry I am, I'll do a bigger or smaller bowl. But, or add even fresh berries, but look at how cute. Once that granola crisps up, it's so good. So, I'm gonna eat this, grab a water, grab my lunch, and I'm off to the office, and I'll see you guys back here for dinner. Hey guys, welcome back to my kitchen. We are now prepping for dinner. Well, not really prepping, we're making dinner. So for dinner, I am using kind of basically, I call this like the kitchen sink dinner, where I use up all the leftover veggies or things in my fridge that I feel like are gonna go bad soon. And I've also been trying to incorporate more veggie friendly, not vegan, but veggie friendly meals, like less meats like chicken, steak. I eat so much protein in that category. So sometimes once or twice a week, I'll do just a veggie based meal, which is basically what I'm doing tonight. And tonight I'm doing a ratatouille, but I'm putting my spin on it because I like ratatouille, but I don't love like the marinara sauce on the bottom of the pan, which is kind of the traditional ratatouille. I'm gonna do a brown butter, garlic, and rosemary ratatouille. And the veggies that I just happen to have and will be using are bell peppers, zucchinis, sweet potato, and a red onion. You can use eggplant, you can use yellow zucchinis, squash, butternut squash I've done is amazing. It's really like whatever you want and whatever you have in your fridge. And yeah, I'm gonna be using a mandolin to slice up my veggies. Sorry, I have a better mandolin, so I'm gonna use this one instead. and you can adjust actually the thickness. So I'm gonna go quite thin. So to get started, I have a wrought iron skillet. I prefer to do it in this because I bake my ratatouille. You could use any skillet that's safe for the oven. I'm gonna just put a little bit of olive oil on the bottom of the pan to keep it from sticking, although we are gonna be pouring that butter situation in there. I have the oven preheating to 375, and then I'm gonna put some butter, unsalted butter, on my stove top. And this is basically the only sauce. So it is a stick of butter, but it's gonna reduce down. We're gonna brown it, and it's a lot of vegetables. So it's not gonna be like you're eating a whole stick of butter. You could do less, but when you scoop out the veggies, it kind of drips off. So I do a whole stick just for the flavor. But don't think that you're gonna be ingesting that much butter. So basically, we just have to cut up all these veggies. Okay, so we have our sweet potatoes that we'll just put everything to the side, because when you make this, you layer it super pretty, so you have to kind of have everything pre-chopped. Now I'll do my potato. This is super quick and easy if you could prep this slicing part. This is basically the hardest part. But after you do this, you literally put it in the oven, and it's so easy. And I've made this for a dinner party as like a side to like a steak or fish or pasta. And people, I wasn't sure how people would like it, and people were downing this. They were like, what is that? Like, they loved it. So highly recommend. I think a lot of people think like, ooh, veggies, they're not that good, but oh my God. These veggies cooked like this are amazing. Just now my zucchini. Move the zucchinis to the side. I'm going to garlic press or chop up my garlic. It's about 4 big cloves of garlic. Press some garlic. And then I've got some rosemary. This one's actually from my garden that I grew. Very proud of my garden. Obviously, fresh is best, so if you can buy, I'm just gonna take this and chop it up, and that's also gonna go in when the butter is, after it's browned. Rosemary, garlic, and butter is like, I make that for steak sauces. It's just like the most magical combination. And it really makes this, obviously you can do this dish with no butter. You could do just a little olive oil or that marinara sauce. But the butter is kind of what makes it feel decadent, which is kind of what I am looking for when I have more veggie-based meals, is that like decadence, like factor. But that's just me. If you're on a diet, or you get that you want to skip the butter. Roughly chop up those herbs. You could do thyme in here. Sage would be amazing. So when your butter is browned, you're gonna add in the garlic and the rosemary. Turn off the heat, and the butter should bubble up a lot when you add this in. And I kind of just like to stir it like this. You don't even need a spoon. All right, now keep that sauce on the side. And we're just gonna finish cutting these veggies. Onions are a little bit trickier. I like to just kind of roughly, obviously they're not gonna lay as flat as the pretty potatoes, but same with the bell pepper. Gotta just kind of roughly chop it and okay, now we get to start assembling. So, 2 zucchini, 2 sweet potatoes, onion, and then a bell pepper. And basically I'm gonna do this over and over and over again in a spiral until this whole thing fills up. Okay, looks done. I'll show you what it looks like. So pretty. Obviously, if you do just round, like zucchini, potato type veggies, and you don't do the bell pepper and onion, it looks much prettier because they lay like perfectly flat, but I just love onions. It smells amazing. I'm gonna take my brown butter, rosemary garlic sauce, and I'm gonna basically pour this over, drizzle it over the whole thing. And you'll see how it's actually not that much sauce, surprisingly, for how much butter you feel like you put in there. So I'm gonna put this covered with foil, 375 for about 30 minutes, and then I'm gonna cook it uncovered for about 20 minutes. And then I'm gonna top it with some crunchy breadcrumbs and some parm and finish it off in the broiler. And that's it. Easy peasy dinner. I'll see you guys in 30 minutes. Well, I'll uncover it at 30 minutes, I'll cook it for 20 minutes, and then I'll see you guys back here when I'm gonna chop it with the breadcrumbs and the parm. So the dinger just went off. I'm having a little bit of a snack. I try not to eat when I cook because I know I'm gonna eat soon, but I just bought this spinach and artichoke dip. So I guess you can count this in my what I eat in a day. Pretzels and spinach artichoke dip, which is not healthy really at all, but it's delicious. So I took the foil off after 30 minutes. It's been in there for 20, and make sure that it's cooked through. Potatoes are feeling a little rough, so I might actually pop it in, but just the top, the part that's not in the liquid. So this is why we test it. So I'm gonna put this back in the oven, which is what I was gonna do anyways when I put the breadcrumbs and parm on. But after I do that, it's gonna get golden brown and then it will burn. And I only wanna keep it in for as long as it takes to get it golden brown. So I'm gonna pre-broil it and make sure those potatoes are just cooked through. I mean, obviously all vegetables cook at a different rate, so that is why they cooked faster. So I'm gonna broil this for maybe another 5 to 10 minutes and then just kind of assess where we're at with the potatoes. So I didn't even last 5 minutes because I could smell like the garlic and the herbs that were on top kind of burning. So I just pulled it out and it feels fine. So you can skip this step as well, but I'm gonna top it with some breadcrumbs. I actually have panko and breadcrumbs. You could do one or the other, you could do neither. I like the crunchiness of the panko, but the flavor of the breadcrumbs. Panko tends to be a bit crunchier and like more tempura-y versus breadcrumbs are a bit smaller and like powdery. I don't know how to explain that. So I'm going to do a little bit of both. And then I'm also gonna top with some parm. This is just like another step in making this dish taste more than just like another veggie dessert. I mean, a dessert. I can't speak today. Just another veggie, you know, dish. Really takes it to the next level. So it'll get all toasted and delicious. Oops. And then a little bit of parm. Grated, shredded, whatever you have. Oh, Winston's doggy doorbell. Some shredded parm. And this is gonna go in for 5 minutes or less, depending on when it starts to get golden brown and bubbly and delicious. Back in the oven. It is smelling cheesy and delicious. Oh, baby. Golden brown, so delicious. Smells unreal. I'm so excited to dig in. Oh my goodness. It's cheesy and looks delicious. Thank you guys so much for tuning in my What I Eat in a Day. I hope you enjoyed it. Obviously every day is different, every week's different. Sometimes I eat more healthy, less healthy, but this is kind of just an average day in the life of what I eat in a day. I hope you enjoyed. As always, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try to get back to you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. A little golden milk latte. So just kind of spread it, learn, and I only want to miss. It's cheese.